Welcome to Inspiring China, a channel that brings you insight of technology, business and lifestyle. Do share and subscribe if you like it. Don't forget to press the subscribe and notification icon below. Your support is my motivation. Question 1. How long does it take to obtain a housing project permit in China? Answer: 799 days. Question 2. What is the procedure of the permit application? Answer: personal visit to 73 government offices that require 100 approval procedure and 108 government shops. This is what it took for a Guangzhou-based investment company to get their project approved. When the company chairman, Cao Ziwei, presented his case at the Chinese annual plenary sessions where national-level political decisions are made in 2013 in a rather graphical way, literally. Cao used a scroll measured by 4.4 meters long and 1 meter high, which illustrates each step of the application procedure. They call the scroll Long March. The presentation has caused quite a stir and received much attention from Congress members, the press, and finally, Vice Premier Li Keqiang. Cao is not only an entrepreneur, but he is also a member of the Guangzhou Committee of Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference that provides advisory to the government. CPPCC is the one place where different democratic parties, unions, academics, businessmen attend, discuss, criticize, and recommend matters that relate to China policy and national concern. 4 years after Cao's debut at the People's Congress, the State Council has cancelled 9 procedures, decentralized 618 procedures, and requested local authorities across departments to set new targets that speed up the bureaucratic procedures. Subsequently, the housing project permit application duration has reduced by 75%. As for Cao himself, he continued his crusade in promoting government efficiency and removal of red tapes. Bureaucracy is by definition a system of which most of the important decisions are made by state officials rather than by elected representatives. It also represents a highly complex body with multi-layered systems and processes that could imply a rigid governing system that is divorced from reality with unproductive outcome and even corruption. Bureaucracy seems to be a universal phenomenon around the globe. In 2017, President Trump of the United States presented a flowchart that was taller than him at a meeting that illustrates the lengthy process in building a simple highway. As he explained, with the aid of DJ Gribbin, a special assistant to the President for Infrastructure Policy, that it takes 10 to 20 years at a cost of hundreds of millions, which involves 17 government bodies, 5 executive orders, and hundreds of permits, and still risk being voted down by the Congress. For the last few decades, China's governance model has evolved. According to a paper on Chinese government performance management by John Burns and Zhou Jiren in 2010, China's performance management system has developed relatively quickly since the mid-1990s. Incentives to improve performance are locked into the human resource management system. Although there was an initial heavy emphasis on economic targets such as GDP growth, these have given way to targets that focus on social development and sustainability. Since 1980s, different rounds of downsizing and reorganization took place within the government that adjust to the country's strategic goal. Performance-based system is also introduced and practiced. For example, no more than 15% of civil servants can be rated as outstanding. Good performance gets rewarded and promoted. Underperformers get demoted or fired. Serious offenders on bribery, for example, are prosecuted and jailed. Public hotlines were introduced 2 decades ago for customer complaints. In 2003, government websites were launched for people to interact with different bureaus and departments. Live broadcast for city governments was first introduced in 2008 to have direct dialogue with citizens. At times, the government could be quite creative. Last year, 2 local county departments in Zhejiang province were awarded the infamous Snail Award, which has been widely adopted by local authorities across China since 2018 for the recognition of their lack of productivity, which was presented in a ceremony. It is an incentive to motivate underperformed departments not to win the award twice. After all, no one wants to be on the Hall of Shame. I'm not an expert in Chinese government administration, but from a regular guy's perspective, I only look at the result. In the recent 13th National People's Congress held in Beijing early this month, Premier Li Keqiang delivered the 2020 government work report that highlights the achievement. According to Premier Li, China has reached an annual GDP growth of 2.3% that increased to $15 trillion. The government has waived a total of $260 billion in social security fee. By early 2021, the remaining 5.5 million rural residents were lifted out of poverty. All the COVID medical costs were covered by the state. Financial inclusion for SME loans has achieved a 50% increase. Major scientific and technology success in areas of manned space flight, lunar exploration, deep-sea engineering, supercomputing, and quantum computing. 100 million migrants and other residents have settled down in cities and towns. In the next 5 years, the government shall focus on GDP growth of over 6%, creation of 11 million new urban jobs, maintaining urban unemployment rate below 5.5%, and CPI increase of around 3%, reduction of 3% in energy consumption per unit of GDP, continued reduction of major pollution. These are just a snapshot of the government work report. For more details, you can go to the government website that provides the report and video for viewing. Are there areas of improvement for the government administration? Of course there are. Greater transparency of government department responsibilities, further simplification of city office procedures in new business license application, and clear instruction of dock permit application for each city. Also, inconsistent service quality varies across 23 provinces, 5 autonomous regions, 4 municipalities, 2 special administration regions, 50 states and leagues, 661 cities, 283 prefectural level cities, 374 county level cities, 1,636 counties, 852 municipal districts, and 37,334 towns. It's endless. But when compared with the overall administration's effectiveness, say 5, 10, or even 15 years ago, clear progress has been demonstrated to the public, and it seems to be on the right track. I think it's due to a few reasons. Government's vision and commitment to better serve the people, social media that disclose injustice, inequality, and crimes, and people's high expectation of government service with the rise of living standard. So, what rating should be given to the government for last year's performance? I shall leave it to you. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more interesting topics and don't forget to leave your comments. See you in the next episode.